A very rapidly increasing number of youths are reporting suffering from climate anxiety or eco-anxiety across the world. Climate anxiety is being reported mostly in children, Gen Z and millennials, and this is true for India as well. The phenomenon of eco-anxiety has emerged amid the worsening climate change crisis across the globe. So what is climate anxiety? Is eco-anxiety good or bad? It takes a lot of research and time to produce such serious journalistic content, so please share and subscribe to our platform. It is hardly a secret that climate change is immensely affecting mental health of humans to a great extent. However, eco-anxiety is much more than that. What exactly is climate anxiety? Climate anxiety, also known as eco-anxiety, is chronic fear, worry, frustration, grief, stress, sadness, anger, and exhaustion pertaining to the climate change crisis and the failure of the government to control it. Experts believe that eco-anxiety is worry and fear related to the future of the world in terms of the deadly climate change crisis unfolding every day. It is fueled by uncertainty and the uncontrollability factor of the climate change crisis across the globe and has different names such as eco-angst, eco-trauma, and ecological grief. It usually happens among people who are more concerned about the climate change crisis and how it will affect people in the future. They blame the governments and international institutions for failing to do enough to mitigate climate change and its effects on humans and their survivability. Who is affected more by it? According to the Lancet Global Survey published in September 2021, people across 10 different major countries in the world were apprehensive about climate change. The survey was conducted on 10,000 children and young people from countries like Australia, Brazil, Finland, India, Nigeria, the Philippines, Portugal, the UK, and the USA. About 10,000 respondents participated in the survey from each of these countries and answered on climate anxiety. The study found that 58% of the respondents were extremely worried and 84% were at least moderately worried about climate change. The report also revealed that about 75% of people think the future is frightening. More than 45% of respondents also revealed that their feelings about climate change negatively affected their daily life and functioning. Being sad, anxious, angry, powerless, helpless, and guilty about climate change was so common in over 50% of the people. Country-wise data stated that about 68% of respondents from India were extremely worried about climate change. The same report concluded that climate anxiety and dissatisfaction with government responses are widespread in children and young people worldwide. Shockingly, they are affected by it in a day-to-day life. What is happening in the US? World Economic Forum cited a report by the American Psychological Association which revealed that about 75% of Americans are worried about climate change. It also noted that over 25% of Americans are alarmed at the rapidly unfolding climate change crisis. These figures have only doubled since 2017 in the country. Is the UK also witnessing an increasing number of climate anxiety cases? In a separate report by the UK's Royal College of Psychiatrists in November 2020, over 57% of child and adolescent psychiatrists were seeing children and young people distressed about climate change crisis and the state of the environment. Children reported being impacted by global warming, floods, and other climate-induced disasters. Climate change and environment-related news and happenings push children and youths into eco-distress, in which they claim to feel low, guilty, angry, helpless, and losing sleep. However, the study noted that eco-distress is not a diagnosis or mental illness. What are the primary reasons for climate anxiety? There could be several possible reasons for climate anxiety among younger generation of the world. Eco-anxiety has been mostly reported in people with high levels of climate crisis awareness and concerns for its future. More eco-empathetic and eco-compassionate people who are also nature lovers have displayed climate anxiety. It is very common among environmentalists, scientists, and preservers and conservers of nature. One of the other reasons for increasing climate anxiety is climate exhaustion among people who care for the planet's future. This happens because they feel that government is neither listening to them nor doing enough to control the climate doom. There are other factors like people fearing that they will have to leave their cities and countries to avoid being affected much by the climate change crisis. Farmers and indigenous people also fear losing access to their motherland, farmlands and forests and ultimately being forced to stop local farming due to climate change. There have been countless examples of people facing local cultural extinction due to climate change and its deadly effects on their daily lives. Climate anxiety is more prevalent among young people because they're more concerned and worried about the future than older generations. How to overcome climate anxiety? Experts believe people with climate anxiety or eco-anxiety should participate in activism that helps them. People should take personal actions to help allay anxieties. These include planting trees, gardening, or even participating in climate-positive action groups. There is also a need to engage in more sustainable living practices. Is eco-anxiety a good thing or bad thing? Experts believe that eco-anxiety is good as it means that people are thinking and getting worried about climate change and related disasters. It is expected to result in proactive actions. Some psychotherapists have said that eco-anxiety is a healthy response to the situation humans are facing, as it only means increased awareness of the climate emergency. The climate change crisis continues to worsen and the poor continue to suffer the most. While working to mitigate the climate change crisis, it is also important to remain climate optimist. Please comment on what you think about this.